I can see why Scylla want to play this one again, as you've already alluded to, but they had a decent performance, although they didn't take a single round. I think the potential was definitely there.
Yeah, those of you in Twitch chat, it's spelled like G-U-Q-I-N. Does anyone
I've never heard of that.
know how to pronounce that? I know it because there's a Sona skin in League of Legends, but never mind all that, because the sound, the music here is Scylla Esports. It's 3 kills to 2 kills, and Scylla are behind in this one. They can get another pick though, they might be able to do it, but Spoon's getting forced out of this one as IEU up closes the kill on him. And like I said, face the music indeed as Fusion Girls again dominant and looking to get set up on the point.
Pretty easy first fight. They didn't lose that many members. I think they lost about 2 members. So Eat-Up were already sitting onto the pulse bomb. He did the majority of the damage. He did so well, able to pick up the kills. Look for an early stick already to Sparky.
Yeah, great stick indeed, and no healing to come out means he gets forced out. They do trade back onto Trill, so they might be able to keep this one alive, but unfortunately Project has had to back rather way away. They need to get another kill to really keep this one going. We're trying to make it happen, but he's really, really low. Going to go down to his counterpart as Flake gets picked off too. The rest kettled in by the Graviton Surge there in Scylla. They do have plenty of ultimates this time around, but certainly that is a lot of time on the clock for Fusion Girls.
Eat-Up is also one of those traces that really wants to go for the 1v1. You see him chasing down Wuvo in a lot of situations. Didn't really, in the same situation yesterday on Night Markets, he actually lost at Jill, so a bit of a 50-50 sort of play style out of Eat-Up, but shows a lot of confidence.
Well, let's see if they make it past the gate this time. Yeah, Fusion Girls not going with an aggressive defense here. They're going to try and get in behind Scylla instead. Oh, that's a huge Earth Shatter. There is no way to respond to that one. So they all get charged on in and taken out one way or another. That is a complete team wipe. Only 2 ultimates used for Fusion Girls, and honestly, they could have done it with 1. Great positioning by Trill.
I mean, and the Bio-Grenade just to land up on top of those members as well, just to make sure no passive healing comes out. Beautiful combinations all around. They probably didn't even need, as you said, the second ultimate, the sound barrier. And they're set up for the next fight still. 4 ultimates now for Scylla, though. This is the opportunity to get something done.
Yeah, they're going to go in for it, but Huss has a whole hog and a nano boost on him, but Spoons has one of his own, and he's looking a lot stronger now with the picks already coming in. Oh, Huss gets his counterpart, but Project has already done some work on the other side of this one, so Huss is really the only one left on this point. The respawns will come in for Fusion Girls, but Scylla, they're looking in good stead here unless IEU pulls out something crazy, and yes, it is going to be Scylla looking to cap this point.
So I get one on the board finally, 96%. They got a little bit of time to work with, but it's not a lot at all. They have to make sure they do not
nice pick.
The checkpoint whatsoever for the rest of this round, and that's going to be a tall order for Scylla.
Yeah, good pick. Finding IEU up buys them a good amount of time there. Project just with the tracking, and now Wuvo can do the same with a pulse bomb catch out a key member, force Scylla back and buy themselves more seconds on the clock. That's what's going to matter here. There it goes. Oh, gets hooked, and he doesn't get anything with the sticky himself, so actually it backfires. And now Sparky going to charge in, maybe a little too deep. Gets a bubble on top of him, but he is going to be fine. Now he wishes he had that bubble because he is hooked into the enemy team. He's in full retreat.
Okay,
but what an Earth Shatter! He's got 4 of them, but can they get the kills? They have to close it out, and they're all getting topped off here. Fusion Girls, they haven't lost a member yet. They're going to throw out a Graviton in response and set themselves up on the point. Oh, they're going to have their cake and eat it too. It's like when you pat your head and rub your stomach, or is it the other way around? Fusion Girls, they are on top of this one as the whole hog closes out the last couple of kills. They're looking to get in on this point. Scylla could try and trade back a couple more if they... Oh, not with Spoons dead. And now Flake going to be the last to go down here for sure.
Unfortunately,
not quite. No, he gets out.
And Fusion Girls managed to cap it in the meantime as well. So we're not even going to get the sort of time for Scylla to be able to get back into this. We're already into overtime.
And Project still dying. Down. They're not even getting onto this point. Saphira not able to get close, and that is already Fusion Girls 1-0 up. Scylla not even looking as good as yesterday on Li Zhang, but they did win a fight. And I'll be honest, if it hadn't have been for some unfortunate circumstances in that last fight, I think they could have done a little bit better. In any case, we can't just say might have. We are at the point now where we have to say must, and if Scylla don't, they do not win. It is that simple. 1-0 up now is Fusion Girls on what could well be our last game, not just of the day, but of the whole summer series.
And 2-0 up in terms of maps for the Fusion Girls as well. Look at the difference between these Earth Shatters. This is some of what I'm talking about as well. When Trill hit his Earth Shatter, full team wipe. They didn't need to commit anything out of that. Sparky lands on 4 members, not a single kill.
Not a single kill indeed, and you wonder what went wrong there. How do you connect something that great and not have the follow-up? But
okay, that's a
good way to start it off. Wuvo, nice one. Gets Kiki. That's the mech and the girl too. Wuvo going to try and have a repeat performance elsewhere. Yeah, hey, whoa, buddy, with the conk. Anyway, Wuvo trying to set himself up on this point, and Scylla, because of that one early pick, are in the defensive position.
Well, the respawn's already coming on through, so, once more for Fusion is very patient. They're able to just wait for the respawners, and the cap hasn't even gone yet, so realistically,
yeah, well, hasn't gone, but they are able to get back in. Saphira getting picked, though, is not a great way to start it off, and they're all just kind of getting piled on top of here. They haven't really got much of a response, only finding 2 in return. Trill, though, is low, might go down, does. Spoon's actually keeping this one alive for his team. He's a little bit surrounded now, though. Sparky, the only one left, can't even get Kiki out of the mech. Gunba handily in the pocket of that Diva there, and they're going to be able to take out Sparky, clear out the rest of Scylla, and despite that great opening position, they get completely flattened on the point.
And this is the thing as well, although they get that early kill into Kiki, Fusion Girls, they decide not to really commit anything there. They can just wait for the respawner to come back and then take the fight without the cap even going through. So good calculated play coming out of Fusion Girls again. Edop misses the pulse bomb though, so that's something Scylla might be able to use.
Gunba sitting on a heal as well. Sorry, not just a heal, a res indeed. So even if Scylla win this, they then have to win it again, unless they pick Gunba, but it's not even looking like they can do that. Caught sleeping on the job here is Kiki, but they're going to be fine if they find Saphira. The rocket barrage to open up. He gets one, looking to get Sparky now. Oh, yeah, there we go. Takes him out. Wuvo does actually trade back onto Gunba, but there's not really many members left here. Wuvo would need to pull out with something pretty crazy here. Not quite going to happen even as Project finds Trill, because he's going to get closed off as well. And Scylla, they're getting some good picks, but they're not getting enough, and they're not getting them at the right times on the right members.
And they're saving up a lot of ultimates again. They're nearly at 6, and this is not a position you actually want to be at. You don't want to be the team sitting at 6 ultimates. You want to have fights where you could have committed ultimates, and that could have swung the game for you. Sitting at 6 ultimates means you've been kind of been wiped a few times now. And again, pulse onto Flake is just going to really not allow Scylla any room to...
Yeah, well, Wuvo is going to try and come in behind these tanks here, but he knows he could get blocked out if he opens it up, and instead he's just going to go down. Sparky gets a big Earth Shatter, though, and indeed he shakes the ground once again. Gunba, though, waiting off in the wings with the res to try and save his team on this one, but he might not even need it just yet because the trades are coming back in. Goes in for a tempo res, and he doesn't get much with it because Sparky trades a couple back already, gets more even, and the Graviton to secure it means that this time Scylla will use almost their full battery of ultimates. Sparky even committing an ultimate off the back end of that one. That's a great rocket barrage on the end as well. They should be able to secure it. Fusion Girls buying as much time as possible, but Scylla are going to hold this with no ultimates.
They're doing a really good job of that as well. This is what we saw out of Fusion Girls last time.
Oh
They
dear.
got to push it all the way into the overtime. This should have been a fight one for Scylla, but they haven't won it yet.
Yeah, how has it gone on for so long? And there's actually only one person on the point. They're not even closing it out because the respawns have been able to come in. Fusion Girls, they've actually kind of got back on this one now. Kiki is out of the mech. Scylla's still yet to close it out, but they should have the position. But Fusion Girls, my goodness, not just getting the time, but also getting all of those ultimates out of Scylla.
Wow, that was just tough to watch. I mean, again, a repeat of what we saw yesterday on Garden from Fusion Girls and Scylla. Again, this is where Fusion Girls are not afraid to commit members to keep the cap going, push it all the way to 99%. That's exactly what they've done. Now we're back onto 9 markers. This was the same situation. You got Scylla in a space where they can't afford to lose another fight now. 20%, they got a long way to go. And for Fusion Girls, they just need to win one.
Yeah, long way to go with no ultimate. It's going to be a self-destruct and a rocket barrage available for this one. Fusion Girls, unless they lose one of those 2 members, but it's looking like they're going to go the other way. It's Saphira who gets taken down, and the only ultimate they had as well. He does get it off first, and they trade one back on the Husk, but unless they find more here, Scylla are not in a great spot, losing Spoons as well. The only one close to an ultimate. It's going to be the rocket barrage out from Trill, and he gets one with it. Nick gets most of Sparky's shield as well, and he's now kind of a man alone on the point. Does manage to get a good Earth Shatter, but they haven't got the follow-up as Kiki is still alive. Yeah, no kills, and that's what matters. Now Sparky is going to be the one killed instead, and Fusion Girls already ahead in this fight, looking to close out just a few more to get this point capped, and Scylla do not want to do what Fusion Girls just did to them. They do not have the ability to execute on something like that. The overtime ready to tick down here, and Fusion Girls now 2-0 up, putting Scylla on an even tighter rope.
Oh wow, this is a bit of a sad sight to see for Scylla, where we started the day so strong on Nimbani, and I feel like this was really Scylla's day to come back in here. Now 2-0, not just in the map score, but also for rounds as well on Lee Jung. This is turning into quite the disaster for Scylla.
Disaster indeed. Well, good showings on those first 2 at any rate. And like I said, solidified in the top 2. But you know what? You do want to go beyond that. You do not just want to settle for second if you're Scylla. You want to take that first. Unfortunately for you, though, it is Fusion Girls standing in your way. They have built an iron wall that you have to break down now. 0-2 down in the series. 0-2 down on this map. Scylla, If you've got it, you've got to bring it now.
Let's see what Wuvo can do this time onto the McCree, channeling a little bit of Eat Up there. And we saw Eat Up's McCree onto Dorado as well. Going to see if he can actually shut down the Tracer though.
Can he indeed? Oh no, he's already down. The charge in from Trill finding that one, and unlike what happens when Sparky does it, Trill does not lose his life for it. Able to fully retreat IEU up now, harassing the backliners. Yeah, Sparky already going down as well. As much as Wuvo did get the respawn, that means the trickle deaths as Fusion Girls setting up on the point. And now getting the last couple here as well as they find Flake on the back end of that one. This is Fusion Girls 2-0 up and now in control of the point. It's even more dire than before.
Still losing a lot of patience here. You know, this was in the same situation had Fusion Girls been on the opposite and the receiving end of that. Fusion Girls would have chosen to back off, regroup, wait for Eat Up to come back in before they recommit. Unfortunately for Scylla, they decided to go for a full commit and lost their whole team for it.
That they did. They've got to try and go for it now, though. Fusion Girls have already committed a nano boost, and they're already keeping Scylla caught up in the base. They can't even get close to the point, let alone cap it off, as they get an almost complete team wipe right in front of the spawn. Fusion Girls, oh man.
Fusion Girls don't just even want to win this one. They want to rub salt into the wound. Earth Shadow will just do that.
Exactly, and good boop. It does get Trill, but that's all they're going to get. They could get more, but they have to, right? It's not just, oh, maybe. They have to do it right now. They can't afford to wait any longer. They're going to go barreling towards this point here. Project, plenty of charge in the bank, but they need to get very key picks. They need to get huge mileage out of these ultimates.
Speaking of huge charge,
hold on, they're on the point.
About to come up. That's the Graviton surge.
It is indeed, and the right click as well with the anti-heal, but Trill and Huz die in the other Graviton out of Scylla. They do lose spoons. It's a little bit even for now, but Kiki, the only one who can really do tons of damage here. He goes down, Sparky making it happen at the end there, and they are going to actually get this cap. They did do it right at the last possible moment. Well, not the exact last possible.
They can't even kill Gumbo. That's really disappointing.
Yeah, a little disappointing indeed, but hey, they are on the point. They have the ultimate advantage. Scylla, they may just be bringing it now.
Well, this could be the one. They're in a great spot too. They're not at 99%. Fusion Girls are not sitting at 99%. This time they're working with a 64% advantage. Can they get it done with?
Oh no! Charge for Sparky. He stays alive, but that forces out the sound barrier. They get Trilled. That's a good one for them. Hus in trouble. Goes down. That's another great one. And Scylla, without using too many ultimates for that, they're only going to lose Saphira, but they should stop up Fusion Girls for a good long while now. No sneaky back cap to come out of IEU up.
Losing spoons in the front line is no good though. A lot of Scylla members turned around to deal with Eat Up, and unfortunately they lost their front.
There's the re-engage.
This is now the re-engage. There's no spoons.
Yeah, without spoons. Oh, and he doesn't quite connect the Earth Shed. He's going to go charging in on Trill, but there's too much healing on him, and Sparky gets picked out too deep. Wuvo as well, like you said, to the pulse bomb. Fusion Girls looking set to cap this one back as they take out Project 2. They are all over this point like a rash.
Spoons has got to get out. I don't know why he recommitted this.
Getting that last little pick, I mean, maybe he was going for a hero play, but you've still got time to get one good team play. Now they maybe don't even, because he's going to have to respawn first and then come back in with his team. And if Sparky goes down as well, they're going to be doing it scattered. Sparky, no! Gets hooked in!
Further casualties.
Oh dear! They're going to have to go in a 5 versus 6 for this last one.
They're just feeding members through. Scylla are not able to just consolidate. They're not able to just back their members up, regroup and re-push. They keep losing members one by one. Now they're at 90%. Flake gets Hus, so this could be the fight.
No, they're all caught up in Graviton. Is that going to be it? Is that going to be the final one? They did get 2 in response, but Fusion Girls are going to be able to close it out with that.
One more.
Sparky, he charges and he touches the point. They've got 4 members there. They're trying to get a cap as quick as they possibly can, but they need to get the picks too because Fusion Girls have been able to come back in. RQT getting picked off there. That's something that they desperately needed. But if one person leaves this point, they must keep someone on here at all times. Wuvo's alive, but he's caught in the Earth Shadow. Is it going to be over? Is that going to be it? It is. It ticks down. And Fusion Girls, we all expected it. We thought it might happen at the 11th hour there for Scylla. They are such a strong team, but they are no Fusion Girls. And Fusion Girls are your Oceanic Summer Series champions.